gentlemen, boys and girls, probably not boys and girls. Boys and girls should not have seen this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the CineClwd podcast. Thank you very much for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing to us. If you haven't done that, stick around. Maybe we'll convince you to stay. Today we're talking about Sinners. Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. It came out last week. It's been the talk of the town, the buzz in the city. Everybody has seen it, and if you haven't seen it, you should go see it, is essentially what's being spread. We saw it.
We did.
Nick, myself, and Nick, my co-host. We both saw it different times, which is rare. Usually we go to the movies for the podcast. We try to line up and go to the movies together. This was scheduling conflict, whatever. We don't get to go together, but we get to watch this movie. And we come out of it with different viewpoints, but all positive.
Yes.
Mostly positive. Anyway, let's just crack at it a little bit. Everybody kind of knows what this movie's about, but I'll kind of serve as a refresher. 1920s, 1930s. Two brothers, twin brothers, played by Michael B. Jordan, Smoke and Stack, have just come. Is this a spoiler? They came back from Chicago working with Al Capone, and they come back to Mississippi, and they decide that they're going to open their own little club and have one of the biggest bashes of the
region.
Yeah, one of the biggest bashes in town. And then essentially what happens when you tangle in music that can pierce the line between life and death, which is the actual line from the movie. And then you got vampires involved and Haley Steinfeld doing black voice. And it's just a bunch of shit going on. But it's a bunch of fun shit. I think I had this on my list of like top 25 most anticipated movies of 2025. I remember being like, cannot. I'm excited simply because we're talking about Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler working together. And that's what they always do. They always work together. So this is for sure lines up behind that stacked inventory of movies that they already put out with Creed and Black Panther and Fruitvale Station and
all the
Creed 2. Yeah. I don't know. There's so much. They make a lot and they're really good. And this is the first time Ryan Coogler kind of flexes his own original idea and flexes his own muscle as a filmmaker without having a previous IP to build up, without having a real previous IP to build up.
Technically speaking, it's like a folkloric legend that actually exists.
Yeah, but it's not what I'm saying. What I mean is that he's not entering a world with pre-established characters. He can build around the story, the idea of the folklore legend, whatever. So yeah, he flexes his creative muscles in this. He does whatever he can to make the movie whatever he wants. And I'm going into it, I was like, Ryan Coogler, vampire, cool. Vampire, hard to get me on board with vampire movies. Some of my dad's favorite movies are vampire movies. He wants me to watch Interview with the Vampire with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I can't. I laugh a little during vampire movies because I find them a little ridiculous. But I couldn't not go see this, obviously. And then it came out. I think I had sent you that article like a week before the movie was coming out. Premiere, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's like, whoa. And then it held that score for like a week, which is hot. For anybody knows, it's really hard to do. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for a week is practically impossible. So it holds that score, and then
currently it's the highest rated movie of the decade in Rotten Tomatoes.
It's 98.
No, but it's like as a whole, like combined, it's the highest score ever given to a movie this year so far. Not even this year, actually. This decade,
yeah. Because I think the audience score is 98 and the critic score is 98.
I think it's like 97 or 98.
Yeah.
Think about it. We got crazy movies for 5 years, and this one comes on top right away.
Yeah, because this is kind of something I want to talk about today. Talk about a movie that pierces like into the world where everybody's going to get to see it, whether you're like a top tier. Like I think of the meme of John David Washington and his brother, which I can't remember his name. You know, when they're in the Criterion closet and he's like, I love how artists communicate with each other. And he's holding, this is JDW's brother. I love how artists communicate with each other. And then it cuts to like John David Washington's like, Jackie Chan. Like,
yeah. Now I know.
And that entire clip sums up the audience of this movie, because you can be a blockbuster enthusiast who wants to see big action sequences and sinners has that, or you could be a cinephile who's here for the coming of age, dark and deep story, and he does that too. So it's above all an impressive feat. Sinners is impressive. I have next to nothing negative to say. I'm in awe at the ambition of Ryan Coogler. Like, it's one thing to think this movie genuinely feels like when you're playing a game as a kid and you're like, and then we're gonna do this, and then this guy came out of nowhere, and that story is so grand in your head, but then what happens when you see it on screen, and it's really like, well, then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do that, and then this guy's gonna, and then don't forget about these people, and then it just, the result to me is awesome. It's awesome, and the people react well. It's performing so well at the box office, despite what Variety said. Did you see that Variety thing?
I saw.
You see Ben Stiller defend them? At what point is $60 million bad? Like, who said that? Like, oh, okay, cinema's a tough world, but this movie makes it a lot easier. Like, that's what I'll say. This movie helps the front end of 2025 in terms of getting people to watch it, and it's just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I went to a Thursday night before the screening opened. You didn't have as much fun watching it. That's a story that deserves to be heard on this pod.
Bro. Am I starting right away with this?
Go fucking shoot.
Single-handedly was the worst case of audience like behavior I've ever seen in my life at my screening, dog. I can't believe how the cinema etiquette, as we talked about in the Minecraft show, went even worse than what that movie had, and I'm not even kidding.
Because, well, the one line is, it's not the movie for that.
It's not the movie A for that, and B, what the Minecraft movie had was moments where like you knew shit was about to go down. Like the chicken jockey scene, everybody knows excited, that they're gonna jump. But I shit you not, I don't think I was able in a span of 10 minutes to look at the screen without being distracted by the audience. Whether it was the people behind me or like the rows above always talking, or literally a guy 3/4 of the way through the movie realizing he's not in the right seat and gets bumped, and his girlfriend is sitting like on the aisle waiting up with the popcorn in his hand for 10 minutes straight before he decides to get up and go in front row with her. I kid you not. It was so bad. So it ruined the experience.
Yeah, because you called me after the movie and you're like, I think it's good, but there's so much that and I'm like, what do you talk? Like, to me, the movie was awesome, like awesome, and I'm like, there's so little to dislike. But then you're like, you go on, you talk to me for like 10 minutes, nitpicking like minor issue, and then you're like, there was this one guy behind you, don't shut the fuck up. And I'm like, that's why, because like some things were missed. And first of all, like when you go to the movies, especially a movie like Sinners, Ryan Coogler has crafted so many variants of this movie to have the optimal theater experience for anybody who wants to watch it. Why you gotta fuck around and ruin it for people in the theater? Like, you're lame for that. Honestly, you're lame for that. And you might not think you're ruining it for people, but people actually want to like enjoy movies, and like talking during a movie. Talking during a movie is one thing if you could whisper to the person beside you. Also, talk it up if there's no one in the theater. Like, how many times have me and you sat in the theater where it's literally like the two of us and we're like fucking blabbing the whole thing? Like, look at this. That, who cares? Because you're not bothering anybody. But be mindful.
It was a sold out theater that I went to. A literal sold out. And to hear how much noise there was, people are going to be like, yeah, but back in the 80s and the 90s, it was always like that. But again, I feel like when the movie started, people had the decency to shut the fuck up. I don't know. It's just me. Like,
it's very annoying because a movie like Sinners, even though it's advertised as like this vampire action horror, there's a ton of dialogue happening. There's a ton of either funny dialogue or insightful dialogue. To understand who Stack and Smoke are as characters, it's all through what is said to them by other people. Attention. You got to pay attention. So it's because you can appreciate Sinners with your eyes closed, like not with your eyes closed, but what I mean is you could be working on something and appreciate the action sequences of Sinners because they're really fun to watch. But there's something about fully understanding the morality, the message that Ryan Coogler is trying to put through with his three main characters, and kind of go with who they are and what they've done and the reason they're in this situation. And that only comes through dialogue. The first hour of this movie is exposition. It's, hi, we're this guy and let's go see this guy. It felt like the first 5 missions of a story game.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go meet the characters, so get on your horse and let's go see this guy. Like, that's how it was, and that's okay, because it sets up a nice second half payoff in with all these characters are involved in. But you just gotta pay attention. Like, people just have to pay attention if they want to enjoy, like, reap the full benefits of this movie. Because I'm certain there will be some people who will watch this movie and call it boring, but it's only boring if you're not, like, actively investing your attention into it. I will say this: some people are captivating as hell. I'm trying to find his name. Yeah, Miles Catton. Catton. Miles Catton.
Debut role.
Yeah, well, that's he plays Sammy. If Sammy's the main character, essentially. Michael B. Jordan's playing 2 guys, but Sammy is the needle mover of the story. Nothing happens without him. And Miles Catton is in his first role acting, and I haven't been able to find his, like, music or anything. So, like, I don't know where Ryan Coogler found this guy, but this is one of the most talented young men I've ever seen. How old is he? If they're able to find age, I'll let you find it. They got him in this movie. He is singing. He is acting. He is at the top.
He has music.
He has music?
Yeah. Oh, but it's all, this ain't there. But, like, there's music from Sinners.
Okay.
It's 2005, bro.
I feel old.
Oh my god.
So Miles Catton is born 20 years ago. He is fantastic in this movie. He is Miles. I'm trying to find the words to describe his performance and what it does. Essentially, the movie doesn't work without him.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how, pivotal. Yeah, it's like pivotal, crucial. Any word that you need to use. Sinners does not operate without Miles Catton's performance as Sammy. He is literally the heart of the movie. You are rooting for his character above any other character.
Because what you see in that, again, are we going spoiler free?
No,
this episode?
It's been, how long has the movie been out for? It's Saturday. It's been out enough. For a week.
It's been
10 days.
Because what this character does that all the other characters don't is that he is, in a way, the light in this, like, cruel world.
Yeah.
And it's like a moth. Like, there's the sun and everyone's the moth and they go towards that sun. Yeah. Whether it's good or bad, it all goes through him. Yeah.
It has to. He's too, like you described earlier, pivotal performance. Like, and I have emphasis, and everybody's talking about this one scene because it is this one scene, but he is the focal point of the scene. Like, that one scene that everybody's spoken about. Everybody knows. This one scene from Sinner is the best scene I've seen in filmmaking of the past decade. It rivals the trial, the bomb test from Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. You know that one where he's got the glasses and the little wooden, like, it rivals that. Like that, it's even, to me, it's better than that, but I'm saying to offer context.
But well, they do different things, and here's
they do very different.
What this scene does that distinguishes it from all the other scenes is that there's an emotional tie that you can't detach from it. That all the other scenes that try to reach this, like, pivotal point of being one of the best scenes in cinema either fail or go too much into, is they can't balance the emotion from what is going on in your movie. It's either full emotion and, like, you're crying your, like, eyes out in the theater, or it's so serious, like in Oppenheimer, where you see the stakes, you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Yeah. This scene blends into two because you're able to see the emotional tie of this guy actually, like, achieving his dream, and the evil starting to lurk in as it happens. It's this shift in the story. You really feel it. It's a total shift.
It's also the first time you meet the vampires.
No,
it's the first time that they show up to the shindig,
to the actual thing,
and it's like it's these it's this panning shot. Like panning is not the word. I don't know what they like. They must have had like it looks like a drone. Like they fly through this building, and it's change. The scenery changes. They have people coming in from different eras and outfits, and it's all just symbolism for what the whole like the point of the music of the movie is. And to a burning roof, to a outside shot of the vampires literally seeing like all these people are here and we're about to get them all. Like that's what it feels like. And then you kind of fall into that section, the vampire section, which, like I said earlier, vampires are a tough sell for me. I thought they were cool here.
It's one of my favorite vampire like sequence in cinema, not because I just saw it, but just because it wasn't focused on the I'm gonna suck your blood out or I'm gonna make sure like this or that. It's not a Nosferatu where like they're lurching for power. They're really, it's a manipulative kind, and that I felt was a cool aspect to explore from vampires.
And it's the cult type of vampire. Like it's like, come join us. We're one unit. We'll help each other.
And there's no way you can resist us, no matter what you do.
Yeah,
and that is also something that a lot of vampires movie fail to tackle, is the whole superpower of I can make you do whatever I want simply by ordering you.
The manipulation. Yeah,
they manage to like balance it out.
It's really good. It's and they play with the characters' emotions going into those manipulative scenes, especially in regards to Haley Steinfeld's character. She's the prime example of the vampires manipulating other characters, either through lust or brotherhood, which is something that happens with the other brother as well, or friendship or whatever. Like opportunity enough, it gets them to try to cross each other.
Your deadly sin is, and
exactly
like emphasize
exactly. It's smart.
It's in the titles, boy.
It's yeah, I know, but it's smart and it's beautiful. Like the movie it works so efficiently in that sense. That's something I'll give the movie too. First of all, labeled as horror, not very scary, but there are some creepy ass things that happen in this thing. Like creepiest part of this movie, when the vampires are all outside singing in like a circle, like waiting to kill. It's cool. It's really cool. But like, if I'm being objective, it's creepy, but it's cool. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it wasn't creepy.
I thought it was weird. Why are they singing?
I didn't find it weird simply because you were full into the action sequence, and it kind of desensitizes you when you go into that shit. Like it's just, they're doing things in the background. It's not like they're doing a ritual. They're just dancing, triggering them basically. And it's just, I don't know. This movie wasn't really scary. The scariest part was the opening, bro.
Like there's some jump scares.
No, but it's more so the idea of you don't know what's going on. It's the end of the movie, and you have this.
Yeah, guy. It's one of these movies that starts with the last scene playing at the beginning,
and it's that you don't know what's going on, but you know something wrong has just happened, and you don't know quite what happened, and that was the creepiest scene in my opinion.
It does kick off that way. It does. It's I'm not the biggest fan of movies starting their movie with the final scene, but in this it works because of the setting of the last scene, or the setting of Sammy's last scene, where where he's literally in a church. Like, picture it, you're watching a movie called Sinners, and the first scene is a bloodied man entering a church, and you're like, oh, we're in for something, right? You're for sure. And then complete slowdown for an hour, jack up the second half, ending with the most, like, I think that last scene of Michael B. Jordan at the barn, which everybody's seen in the trailer, the one with him and the big machine gun, that scene lasts, what, like 2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Maybe more.
No, well, I'm saying like
but from the
essence of what he does is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's such a, that's when the movie felt like it went like the most extravagant in a way. Like, it was like, okay, we've dealt with all these things, now we're gonna do one big bang, and then we'll wrap up. And then they do the one big bang, and then they wrap up, and they kind of tie a knot that is not too tight, because the credits start rolling and you're like, huh. And then there's a whole ass scene. That's crazy to me. When people do post-credit scenes, normally they're like 30 seconds long. This thing was like 4 minutes, conversation and everything. And it's a real post-credit scene. And it's more than a post-credit scene. It is the end of the story. It makes everything feel very final. I was just curious. Like, I don't know. One of the main questions I had is why not just put that in the regular, like, why is that not just the last scene of the movie? I do appreciate like the creativity of distancing it, but I like the idea that this movie ends. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the idea that the narrative of this movie comes to a close. There's no need to franchise Sinners. Ryan Coogler knows that.
But let me go back like a few sentences and answer your previous question, where like, why does it need to like end and have a post-credit scene to like answer that, like, to end the story basically? And to me, that is a choice that is a testament to what I disliked the most, in quotation, about the movie. And it's the fact that, and you're gonna hate me for this, I need some downtime sometimes in a movie in order to digest what's going on.
This movie has little of it.
Very little.
It's very full.
It's very, very much full to the brim, and it's a good thing because I paid for my full ticket. I'm getting a full ass movie. That's why, like, you know what I'm saying? It's okay.
You do get a full ass movie,
but at the end of the day, a lot of the emotional impact of this movie gets diluted a little bit in the chaos that is the entire spider web of this plot, which is okay. It's a decision. It's not a mistake, but it's a decision that you need to understand its like repercussion. And I feel like he knew the repercussion given what he did with that ending scene.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he didn't find a way to alleviate some of like the weigh downs that this choice makes.
Well, like to me, like I understand what you're saying, but to me, it's you'll have time to think about it after. Like, to me, the movie is like, we're just gonna do this shit, and then you'll think about it after.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna do this now. Like, the movie gives you a lot to think about. It not a lot like to figure out. It's not complex, but it gives you a lot to. Oh yeah, that happened and that happened. Why did that happen? And it's because they do it so quickly. It's so full that, like you said, there is no downtime. Mm-hmm. A lot of movies will have a scene and then it's quiet, and then you're like, whoa. But this movie doesn't do that. The only time it does that is
if we're speaking of the same scene, I don't agree with you.
Well, I don't know what scene we're speaking of.
When Smoke goes back to his to the lady's house.
No. The only time I'm talking about minor, it's really not even that much downtime. The only impact of character that's felt is when. Is it in the trailer? Oh yeah, it's in the trailer. Stack dies.
Mm.
When Stack dies and Smoke is with his brother, and he doesn't. None of the characters fully understand what's happening to them yet, so they're just trying to keep him from dying. But he's going to die anyway.
But again, for that, what I liked about this scene, and again, it's a double-edged sword, is that they went the realistic route of, oh shit, it just happened, but we can't stop.
No, but even in that we can't stop, there is a second of, like, Smoke freezes completely. He's like, for the guy who's the tough soldier, there is like a brief moment where he completely freezes, and then he's told by the
what's her name, bro?
Annie is the voodoo lady.
Yeah.
He tells her that you got to keep going because he's gonna come back to life. So then he's like, fuck it then, you know? But then there's another point of reflection. Like, the downtime in this movie comes in the moments of conversation where it's like, we got to do this. And another great point of reception is Omar Benson Miller, who plays Cornbread. He's fantastic in this movie. And he has a fantastic scene with with everybody. It's Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, and I can't tell you who plays Annie.
Wunmi
Musaku, who plays Annie. The point is, he has a scene, and that's also everything's in the trailer, actually, where he's like, I want to come back in. Let me in. I didn't know this until I watched the movie. Vampires have to be invited in.
You didn't know?
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
Didn't know.
Bro, it was just like the whole center of the movie.
I know. My dad told me. My dad's like, yeah, they got to be invited in. I'm like, why do they keep asking to go? Just open the door. But no, they have to be invited. So, That's just vampire lore, though. I
Bro,
I didn't know that. I don't like vampire shit.
You watched Nosferatu and you didn't know, bro.
But Nosferatu, he fucking just shows up. He doesn't be invited. Oh, he does. Let me in. Let me in. And she finally gives up. Okay, yeah. Okay. I didn't put two and two together. It's okay. I just thought Robert Eggers was being poetic.
It's okay.
Anyway, the point is, Omar Benson Miller has this scene where he's like, let me in. And then they have a whole conversation. And that's the conversation that happens while they're waiting on Stack, who's in the room to turn. That's the moments of like the roller coaster moments, because in conversation, the characters are trying to figure something out, which what I like, because there's some movies, most movies that are like action based. There's not a lot of talking to figure it out. I feel like Ryan Coogler didn't allow his characters to just. There's no plot armor for these characters. There's no traditional plot armor for these characters. Not like I need a pen.
There's a pen.
There's a pen. Like these guys are like shit. What are we gonna do? Like they have to look at the voodoo lady and like what kills the vampire? She's like, I think garlic. Like let's eat some garlic. Like it's a lot of like shit. We don't know. Like like and I like that because you are not giving your characters the easy way to solve this.
Again, it's very realistic.
Yeah,
and that is a part of the movie I feel the horror aspect of it comes back into, because for a movie to have that tag in an action sequence, it has to be realistic. Like you cannot.
It's realistic and it's vampire-esque. Like,
yeah, and in the way that they live in that world, and that is what makes it horror, in my opinion. It's the idea that no matter what you do, you're gonna face reality.
Yeah,
and it's ironic that like reality is horror, but in that context, it really is. You can't you can't escape.
No, and then you get these action scenes. When the action starts, it's like fun. Like Ryan Coogler has a way of making things look a lot more chaotic than they might be. That I'll get that I think is his benefit, as opposed to, because some people think this shit's moving all crazy. I have no idea what's going on, but there's something about Smoke and Stack fighting each other on like a one-on-one. But you feel like I was watching that sequence and I'm like, there's like 6 people in this room. Like the way that he moves his camera from cut to cut to push to thing, something breaks, something, and he just makes everything feel like he pushes the audience to a point of, yeah, you should be. This is chaotic. Like this is bad.
Yeah, but in his chaos, again, it might be a small gripe, but it was not enough. It was not organic enough, in my opinion, and that is simply because every single time there was a cut in an action sequence or something happened that they had to switch characters, you knew the only reason he did that is so that something can happen off screen, so that when you turn back to the other scene, you realize that, oh shit, something happened and you led to that.
I think
it happened also with the. I'm sorry if like, what's her name? It's probably her. Let me remember her name. The name of the character. Yeah, Lin Jun Lee.
Lee Jun Lee. What's her character's name?
It's the good question. It's not written though. Oh, it's here. Grace.
Yeah,
with Grace. It happened with Grace.
Who loses her husband.
Yeah, and then you have a couple of shifts, and then now you see her like burning down to the ground with like a stake in like a vampire.
Well, she like jumps on her husband,
and then it just jumps. But there's this other scene where you move around, and like all of a sudden, I need to remember the people's name, bro. Like Annie just gets killed right away.
Yeah, it was the chaos of not giving, to me, with the movie kind of like, that's a fault to me. Some of these characters who you've sat with for 90 minutes just die.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no like, oh no, they died. It's like they just die. And you're like, shit. Like Delroy Lindo's character, I was so sad. He's just like, go upstairs. I'll take it. And you're like, what? What? No. Like,
no, but it's okay too. Like that one felt the most complete out of all.
Well, yeah, because it was the one that took like 10 seconds, as opposed to the other ones just happened. I will say this: when Annie dies, it's the reaction on everybody else's face that, or Smoke's face, that gives you the significance of it. But also
the chaos that led to this moment doesn't justify the slowdown that happened while she died.
Well, there's no real slowdown.
No,
He
but
just like looks at her and
yeah,
like,
but then
shit.
there's like a 35-second scene where like
It's because
they lock eyes and they're like, "What am I supposed to do?" And I understand the narrative aspect of it. I'm nitpicking here, but the
yeah.
idea of you're selling me a scene, an action sequence that is justified by the idea that you have no clue what's going on, and because of a significant moment, you're about to slow everything down when it's at the worst of the attack, when the vampires are supposed to lock in on
But
you.
it's also at the time where the vampires are fleeing. They're leaving.
Mm-hmm. Because of why?
Because
Because every
Haley
time
Steinfeld and Steak.
mm-hmm.
Oh, Steak pulls um, Mary's character out.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Steinfeld. I can't remember what happens that makes them have to go away.
Honestly, it's in the ending sequence in the post credit that I realized that they were still alive because of that. Because they fled.
He takes him away. Steak says we're leaving
mm-hmm.
because I can't remember what happened. No, because that happens, and then Steak will fight his brother, and then they promise that he's not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
But Haley Steinfeld gets saved by Steak. Stack, not Steak. Stack. Stack. Yeah, Stack and Mary. It moves really fast. Like the second half of this movie moves quickly, and I can't remember the exact reason why they have to go away. I think it's because somebody was gonna.
Probably just because she saw her die and she wasn't a part of the family or some shit. Was it that? Like
It was something that happened that was like.
No, I now remember. Mary sees Annie die, goes into like a nervous breakdown because she dies and she cannot be a part of her family. And Stack is like, go.
It's because Mary leaves because Smoke stabs Annie in the heart with the wood because I don't want to be a vampire, and him doing that makes Mary upset because she's not going to be with them, and so Stack takes Mary away, and then he goes to fight his brother, and then we get like there's a lot of shit, but it's all like good. Like that's the thing. There's just a lot of stuff. I feel like we're so used to the only action movies we get to watch nowadays are whatever James Bond's doing, which has been 5 years or 4 years, whatever Mission Impossible is doing, which has been 2 years, and whatever the MCU is doing, which has been garbage.
This action movie asks its audience to smarten up, which they're not ready for.
That's all I'm saying. We've been used to watching dumb act like Marvel. Nothing happens without drama. We shot the bad guy. Oh, the longest fall. Like this movie's just like, yeah, he fucking died. Go, like like move, and it's just good. It's really good, and I've been in. People should be watching this movie, and people have been, and it's really fun to see the result of it. I push for directors to make more movies.
Should we talk about the 25-year deal?
Ryan Coogler's deal it's awesome, bro. He's winning right now. It's more than 25-year deal though. It's
no, but did you?
I know that Ryan Coogler's deal with Warner Brothers is that he'll get the rights to this movie in 25 years. They'll be his,
which is, might I say, the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
Ryan Coogler getting the rights to Sinners in 25 years.
The idea of a filmmaker being like, I'm going to lease you my piece of art for 25 years, and after that, since you've taken good care of it for 25 years and you've made sure to make a bank, all your efforts are then going to come to me as a payment for that. This I find beautiful.
On top of that, Ryan Coogler negotiated a back-end deal where he makes first dollar, meaning whatever the movie makes, Ryan Coogler is entitled to a certain amount, and then the studio can recoup its budget. So the better that this movie performs, the more money Ryan Coogler makes, the faster the studio can recoup their budget. It's great for this reason. Ryan Coogler has allowed himself to make this movie, get himself paid, make his next movies, and then the studio will recoup their budget because the studio always recoups their budget. It's not hard to understand. The studio never Warner Brothers.
As you ask me,
I think it's Warner.
Details. Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers is never going to go bankrupt. No matter how many times they try to shelve Coyote versus Acme. We're getting Coyote versus Acme.
Let's go.
But they're never going to go under. So it's an awesome deal for Ryan Coogler to get this, and the rights are going to mean so much. and then he'll be able to do whatever he wants with them.
And it's not just that. It's when you get filmmakers that are daring to do something too. Like it helps them to dare even more. Because look at the movie like Babylon. If it had a deal structured like that, I'm sorry, but like in the back end, no, but after the 25 years, not only would the budget be recouped, he would have made a small amount, perhaps, but like an amount that would have led to more projects. It's a long-term deal.
I believe in the Babylon resurgence of 2025.
I believe in the Babylon resurgence. Exactly after 6 months of movie release, people were talking about it.
People are still talking about it now. That's a fire-ass movie. Sinners, great time. It's great. It's fun. I suggest everybody who hasn't seen it to see it, and if you've seen it already, maybe go twice and try to go with no people who are going to bother you, like Nick had to suffer through.
IMAX is worth it, by the way.
Oh, 100%. We didn't even talk about Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig Göransson does the music in this movie. He's cooking. He come right off of Oppenheimer.
Bro, he did some other things before that, I'm sure.
No, he has. But no, it's executive produced. But you got to find...
I'm going to find the link.
Find his music.
Where is the music?
He's made so much shit.
There you go.
Look at this.
Black Panther. There you go. That Tenet.
I'm convinced he's coming off of Oppenheimer, though.
Like, sort by release date. Nope. He did this, and he's about to do The Odyssey. He's on The Odyssey?
He works with Chris Nolan all the time.
That's crazy, bro.
He's fantastic. Ludwig Göransson accentuates the fun sometimes with his music. He's fantastic. This movie is fantastic. Sinners is awesome, and I suggest you go see it. Enjoy it in the biggest theater possible and whatever theater you can enjoy it in. That being said,
shut the hell up in the theater.
Oh yeah, please don't do that shit. So anyway, if you enjoyed hearing us talk about Sinners today, maybe consider liking, subscribing, following, or rating. That's mean. Considering liking, whatever. If you like it, share it with somebody else that may like it as well. And if you didn't like it, do that as well. There's other people who like things. Thank you very much for your time. We will see you in the next one. Bye. Fire.